very comfortably. I wonder if that will happen again. Will they need the 3 games? Will they get the job done in 2? I really feel like they are the favorites, our Prophecy, if they can perform anywhere near as well as we saw them play in their 3rd game on stream earlier. Solo plays, team plays, they had it all.
Yep, certainly is a case of they will have to be as fluid as possible. Prophecy are definitely one of the stronger teams that we have in this tournament, and that is going to be an early goal actually for Survivors, picking it out into the bottom corner.
Yeah, Zenid has had some quality placement, and he continues to have that uncontested shot, but he will place it far corner regardless, just to make sure that there's no chance of a goalkeeper getting back in time. But will this continue? We saw Prophecy drop 1 game earlier in the only series that they have played on stream. They took a while to warm up, and after they did, they were by far the better team. They are the higher seeded team here, like they were earlier. 8th seed, if I'm not mistaken. So they're expected to make the money. They're expected to win this, and they will have a tough matchup tomorrow. I feel like they'll go into tomorrow's matchup as the underdogs, but for now, they are the favorites. Even with this 1 goal deficit, 4 minutes remaining and change, plenty of time to get some work done.
It's the case right now that Survivors need to make sure that they hold that rotation, especially in defense, very strongly. There seems to be a couple of players that are almost mirroring each other's potential moves, and they can't afford to keep doing that, otherwise they will cause themselves to make a mistake. As Zidrox puts that one straight down, there is not enough boost or rotation in his car for him to be able to follow that one up. So Survivors maintaining their lead for the time being. And this is going to be one thing I am looking also from Prophecy, is their ability to find each other, leaving a player towards that middle part of the pitch and launching a ball straight over to them, because I haven't really seen that from them so far. Something I'll be looking for as they take on teams that are better and better at squeezing them into that final third.
Yeah, I do feel like Flarky and Mummy Snow were connecting with each other exceptionally well towards the end of the series we saw earlier, with Sniper making a couple of solo plays. Also in the other game they won in that series, Sniper had a couple of solo goals, just fast recoveries from his own clear balls to get the next hit in the ball to put it into the net. But for the time being, Zidrox, Zenid, and Nyx, the stronger of the 2 teams in terms of possession and territory. They are doing a great job reading these sidewall bounces. Finally, Flarky gets a great hit forward. This is dangerous, going straight down. Does not go in front of the net, though.
Yep, certainly is a case of, especially when we get those long looping clearances constantly back and forth, either trying to steal boost or just trying to get yourself in a position to hit that backboard. Here comes Nyx, puts that wall towards the side. And once again, that bottom corner, this time on the left-hand side, is found. Well played by Survivors, given too much space though.
Flarky expected that ball to continue across the goal, and instead it goes behind him. Excellent placement once again. That has been the difference between these 2 teams so far. Credit to Zenid and Zidrox and Nyx, reading sidewall bounces and stealing bounces incredibly well.
So now, Survivors, they need to try and claw back this 2-goal deficit that they have found themselves in. If what we've heard earlier is to be believed, this could put them out of the tournament, which would be huge for the number 8 seed. A Sniper just gonna have to try and hold off, leaves it in time for his teammates to come through. Now Zenid has managed to control it, but he's gonna need to keep himself on that wall and uses it just to keep himself in a position where he could react to any sort of shots that head towards him. But as you can see, constantly Survivors using these sidewalls. It's a great way of wasting time and to baiting a player to come forward. Now Sniper, that's a pass straight out, but there's not gonna be anyone for a long time coming forward. Mummy Snow will get hold of a beautiful cutting pass towards him. But yet again, Survivors holding players back and are ready and waiting for every single play that Prophecy are trying to put forward.
They're doing a great job this game of just denying anything dangerous from Prophecy. Prophecy have tried to get the ball in front of the net, and every time Survivors are just not panicking. When it's in their own corner, they don't care. When it's in front of their net, they don't care. They're just going to get behind it and look for a 50-50. If they can keep this up, it's going to be very tough for Prophecy to break down their defense, because they look very comfortable in the lead, and it might be time for Prophecy to start thinking about what to change up in game 2. Oh, maybe not yet. Looks like boost was not available for the goalkeeper on Survivors. And now we finally have a goal. Flarky getting high up over his need. 0 boost. No chance to challenge. What would have been an easy contest if he even had 12 to his name.
Yep, and Nyx jumped just a little bit too early whilst he was coming down towards the ball. Those can be very difficult to judge, especially because if you've got the ball cam on, you can believe that your car is a little bit lower than it usually is. But we are now back within 1 goal as we head ourselves into the final minute. Survivors will have to do just that and keep Prophecy away from their net. That is going to be easier said than done, though, and Prophecy have managed to turn this around within 20 seconds.
It's a great pass here coming out of Sniper. You just make sure to hit that as hard as humanly possible into the wall, because he knows the harder it hits, then the faster the ball's going to center, and the earlier Flarky can shoot that ball into what was an open net at the time. 2-all, under a minute remaining. Momentum has strongly swung into Prophecy's favor. They really only have had 2 very good chances, and they've taken both of them. Great accuracy, great composure under pressure.
But Nyx will attempt to take it the entire way. Can he get yet another touch? No, and Sneed ended up thinking about it. He hesitated too much and will end up trying to put that one back in. Survivors, they had an opportunity. Nyx did a lot of work.
What's open?
But hesitation, now an extra shot. Cannot put that one in, however, as Mummy Snow will cover the goal. And now he tries to take it the entire other way. Can't keep it going, but 2 players at the back, Nyx and Zidrox, were both waiting. Still tied up with 10 seconds remaining. Nyx will try and put it in, but that is going to be bouncing off the flat of the side, and that will not allow any offensive opportunities. Once this hits the floor, which it will, we have hit overtime.
End-to-end air dribble versus air dribble. Suddenly, we had an explosion of talent at the end of the game, but the game remains tied. Overtime will decide the fate of the game 1. Of course, Prophecy have shown us that they're willing to come back from behind, but they're going to need to do it again, perhaps. Mummies, though, is not ready to relegate themselves into that position just yet. Another clutch save on the goal line, no less.
And considering the amount of games we've seen today taken in 2-0 sweeps, you've got to imagine that both these teams know how important this first game is, how unlikely it would be for them to win 2 games on the trot at this setting.
Oh,
that's a shot. No one is in
Sniper.
net. And Sniper, pew pew, that is a win for Prophecy.
Really well done here. He realized he had time and he used every ounce of boost to slam that one into the middle of the net. Completely booms it home. But wow, Mummy Snow with the defensive heroics to keep the Prophecy alive in game 1. This is huge for them. They weren't able to take game 1 and they were only game on stream earlier, and now they must be buzzing, coming back from 2 down in the last minute and taking the overtime win in a very close game against a team who are shooting with accuracy and purpose.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to look on Survivors, letting go of a 2-goal lead within 20 seconds and then losing in overtime. That is going to be a sucker punch if there ever was one. Now they need an in-game leader to really pipe up, keep them motivated, because they have to win. There is no other choice in the matter. They need to turn this around. They need to find the form that they had towards the beginning of that last game.
They were doing a great job frustrating Prophecy at the start of game 1. They just need to go right back into that play style, not give Prophecy any free hits in the ball. If they can look for 50-50s at the worst, and at best just continue to place their shots like they did to take a 2-0 lead. And even in overtime, there was another awkwardly placed shot that we saw. Sniper had to just hold his position in the middle of the goal sideways. It's never a position you want to be in if you're goalkeeping in 3s. But he just held strong, hoped that the shot wouldn't be good enough, and it was behind him but slow, thankfully for him.
Yeah, well, you can see right there the trophy that they are all battling for. Let's get ourselves into game number 2. Prophecy find themselves 1 game up in this series, and Survivors need to try and bring it back. Can they do it? Let's find out. This is game number 2.
It's need 12 boosts away from securing game 1, I feel. If he was able to contest that free aerial that Flarky had to take the first goal back for Prophecy, it really didn't look like Prophecy were going to create anything. And oh my goodness, there we go, 50-50s. This is how they're going to win the game. Just force it with brute strength. Look at that.
Yep.
Easy.
Much better job as well, just holding themselves back a lot of times during the last game. As soon as something looked like it could go wrong, they immediately rotated back into their own side of the field. A little bit more confidence will be needed, and that is exactly what Survivors did there, committing to the ball, getting themselves in the lead. They were in this position last time. They were able to make it 2 goals. And Nyx, I have been incredibly impressed by this player throughout the entire time we've seen him in this tournament. This is the 3rd game we've casted of him, and he looks phenomenally solid.
That was 1 versus 3. Takes a touch to control the ball in a situation where a Prophecy player is looking to dunk on him. Great ground play out of defense, and now more ground play from Zidrox. Looks like he was blindsided though by Prophecy. They're back in control of the ball. Very end-to-end game here. Neither team getting sustained pressure at almost any stage. Mummy still looking to use the ceiling this time. The avenues of attack are becoming more and more creative. And oh my goodness, is that an own goal? Nearly a beautiful own goal. We've already seen one cracker today from Pondix. That would have rivaled it.
Certainly would have done, and that's going to be another shot straight towards the middle, though. Prophecy need to start doing something about this. They were already down in this game. They cannot afford to go 2 down like they did last time. It's a huge ask to try and come back by 2 goals. Yes, they did manage to do it. But Survivors are starting to look that much more aggressive, controlling, especially that middle left boost. I've seen them take multiple times in a row. That's going to be a shot straight towards the net. And there was one player baited towards it, but Mummy Snow actually read the bounce off the upper left-hand side of the crossbar. Able to clear it away. Still 3 minutes remaining here. What has been different here so far from Survivors?
It's right back to how we started game 1. Survivors are not giving any opportunities to Prophecy. They're making sure to always have somebody goal side on every threatening pass and shot. They're just looking very similar to how Penta played against Method. Just playing the shutout strategy. They're not trying to force errors from their opponent. They're just disabling everything. Oh no, that's not what we're looking to see on the back wall. Tie game much earlier than it occurred in game 1.
Nyx gets beat,
Oh,
Zidrox gets
so good
bumped,
by Mummy.
and Sniper will take a goal. We are tied back up yet again. Half this game left to play.
The Goomba stomp from Mummy Snow. He just collapses on top of the goalkeeper. Open net for Sniper, who has been getting a lot of goals for Prophecy today. It's probably the best I've seen him play since his Kapow days alongside Turbo Pulsar a lot. Back when they were a top 4 team in Europe. And almost in the contention for RLCS Season 1. Of course, that is before Turbo Pulsar jumped ship to join up with Pashi and Siki.
Turbo's been probably one of the most well-traveled players.
Oh, certainly one of them.
Lots of entire area, but that is going to be...
Suddenly just end-to-end, another goal for Zenith. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, what on earth happened to the rotation here? We can see Sniper goes up the side.
Yep. Still a very good read by Zenith to use his side flip to cover that distance, and then he timed it perfectly to get the power shot. If he jumped any earlier, he would have gone past the ball any later, and he would have hit it too far to the right. But he had a perfect timing on that. Very similar to Sniper's goal that won in overtime in the last game. We're right back into the same story. Will Prophecy be able to make the comeback? They need to do better than that shot, which would have beaten some teams, but not the Survivors, who are defending very, very well right now.
Well, Survivors have been unable to maintain their leads so far. This could be their first one if they can go on to win this matchup. As Nyx commits this side, very brave of him, ends up being the wrong decision to make, and that is going to slowly bounce its way into the net. Nyx did not trust his teammate, overcommits to the side, and Sneed just has to hope that he can get there. He cannot, and we are back to tied up yet again. Survivors unable to hold on to their lead.
Still beautifully done by Flarky. He didn't jump at a very intuitive angle, but he decides to go for the suspension hit down into the ground. Credit to Mummy Snow for centering the ball at all from a very awkward position. He was just simply recovering on the back wall. Saw the opportunity present itself. Now Prophecy, 1 goal away from the money. 1 goal away from day 2 at our DreamHack Summer event here in Sweden. A lot of money on the line for these guys. They're not going to want to stop at top 8. But right now, the task that is at the head of them is not an easy one. Survivors are not going down without a fight.
You can see Mummy as well in that scenario, just looking around, seeing if there was anyone available to bump before realizing the ball wasn't quite in a good position for it.
Good shot.
That's a shot straight towards the net, but Flarky gets that straight above the top crossbar. And now Prophecy will look to try and hold on. In fact, they'll look to do better than that as they now get an opportunity in the opponent's end. But Zidrox, and this is really end-to-end stuff, almost managed to turn that one straight in. Sneed has to try and do something, but cannot. Nyx is also challenged every single time Survivors try to clear it. They are not able to. Prophecy will continue to pressure on, and they will try and get some boost. As you can see, it's starting to go very low. Mummy Snow did manage to get it, though. He's now going to take a shot of it. Bull is up high. Mummy Snow continues to follow, and there is
Finally,
Sniper.
it comes in.
Turns it into the net, and that is going to give the lead with very little time remaining to Prophecy.
Relentless pressure, and finally the defense crumbles. All that we could have from Survivors was a pass right up into the ceiling to try and save that initial shot. Boost was at a premium. And now we're into the final few seconds. Prophecy on the verge of making top 8. It's looking good for them with that hard clear. This is going to be such a big ask of survivors.
Sniper tried to get there, but now it's going to be Nyx. Was low on boost, could not get there in time.
Surely.
Sneed is also too
That's
low.
game.
He cannot do it. Survivors are eliminated, and Prophecy will make it to day 2.
Congratulations to Prophecy. They did come into this tournament as the 8th seed, and they have done as expected so far. Now